Hello, this is Wmpyr. I am sick as a dog right now. I am sick, but I wanted to make this video for you guys because I haven't posted anything all week. I've been sick all week, but all right. Right here, this is kind of graphic, and when you are talking about knife combat material, anytime you're teaching knife stuff, you have to be careful what you teach. That was one of the things one of my instructors said to me when he asked me, he's like, what are you going to start teaching? Because he knew I was going to open my own school. And yeah, he said, you got to be careful with the knife stuff, what you teach and who you teach it to. So I will justify what I'm about to say. But first, this is very graphic, so please keep in mind. So once again, this is from Mr. Hank Reinhardt's Book of Knives, a practical and illustrated guide to knife fighting. So, oh man, just look at the image right there, the illustration. If you hit at the correct angle, the blade can skate along the bone. Okay. Um, so you could read the thing, right? What he's basically saying, my understanding, is that a lot of times people go for a deep cut. They're going to swing the knife as hard as they can, and they try to cut you real deep that goes way inside your body, or like with a stab, you're going to puncture, and you're going to puncture in way deep. Try to go through an organ or something, which, I mean, those are very bad. I mean, you could terminate somebody. You could take a life doing that. And what this guy is showing instead here is he's saying if you cut at an angle, the blade cuts more flesh, therefore giving a great deal more pain. And at this point, yeah, pain. The guy may not even feel it, okay? But it's still information going into his brain. And the information is going, hey, we're not doing so well here. So if you cut the guy's skin, yeah, I mean that's not fatal, but you create a big old flap on his arm. I would think he's more likely to run away, just like this book is saying. But I actually remember talking to when I was training MMA. I belonged to a gym, and one of the fighters that we had, the guy was built like a freaking tank. That's when I was like, yeah, he's a fighter, and I'm just lucky to be here training to be part of the group because I am not built like that. I am not a fighter. Anyway, this dude, he was, I believe, at the time he was active, still in the army, and he could have been part of their hand-to-hand combat. Um, was he a hand-to-hand combat instructor? I think so. I think so. He was also an amateur MMA fighter, as close as you could get to amateur, because the line between pro and amateur is not that clear, especially back in the day. Um, anyway, this guy was a beast, and we talked about knives one time because he saw me come into the gym, and he said that my knife printed, like he could tell I had a knife on. And then for me that was a fail because I was trying not to let it be visible, but he instantly saw it, and so we talked, and he told me there's one situation. He said he was like, this guy came out of nowhere and grabbed him like a choke from behind, and he took out his knife, and he basically filleted the guy's arm, just like what you're seeing here, and he created a flap. And then the guy let go, and they both locked eyes and looked at each other for a quick second, and the guy ran off after that. So that is a real life experience, and even though I wasn't there, this guy is a stand-up guy. I don't see why he would lie to me, but that's what he told me. So, yeah, if you create a flap on a guy's arm, I think is likely that that's going to end the fight right there. Now, it may not, of course, there's no guarantee, but it's pretty devastating, okay? And your psychology, I think most people's psychology go, whoa, I need to get this fixed or treated. Um, so, anyway, why am I showing this? It's very graphic, but why I'm saying this is okay for me to show you guys because it's not as fatal as like just stabbing someone and puncturing and shutting down their organ is fatal. And this is something that back in the day when I had my K4S system around 2006, I had my K4S system, which stood for knife for street, but the K was kind of like the K in K1. It could stand for many things, such as Kali, Karate, Kalari, whatever, because I felt like a lot of martial arts words, like strong, powerful martial arts words, had started with a K, like kickboxing. so anyway, I called it the K4S system. And that system was made up of many substyles. One of the substyles was integrated stick fighting. So it was just multiple styles of stick fighting mixed together. In my case, of course, Escrima was the main ingredient, but it was still called integrated stick fighting because I had researched some other stick fighting styles and I saw benefits. I saw good things in them. So why not mix it together, And I did. Another substyle was knife boxing. And another one, which is relevant to this video, was called the Violence Factory. And the Violence Factory was, the goal for the Violence Factory was one thing, and that was to maximize the wound channel as much as possible. That's all I was interested in. So I was talking about this similar thing, if I'm not misinterpreting what Mr. Hank Reinhardt is saying, was rather than penetrate deep, it's like, who cares about that? Let's just make the wound as big as possible. Okay, so why don't we do that instead? So we'll make it gory. Yes, it's going to look really, really bloody and a big bloody mess, but it's not fatal. I'd rather do that than take a life. Okay, I'd rather the guy start to lose a lot of blood and he gets dizzy than die. Yes, of course, if you lose a lot of blood, you can die, but I'd rather him start to, like if you sever a main artery, I mean, if blood's like squirting out, then yeah, this guy could die for sure. But if it's just a big long wound and he's bleeding, that's much slower, So, like I said, I do not want to kill someone. He says this multiple times in the book that this is not play. This is for keeps. So you really, really have to seriously think about what you're doing here. And I know a lot of people like to act tough and be like, yeah, you mess with me, I'm going to kill you, And it's like, for just messing with you? Are you serious? Are you crazy? Are you that insecure? Are you that much of a wimp, that you can't take anything? Because the tougher you are, I feel like the more you can take. Like a lion and a dog. The dog's going to be barking, and the lion just ignores it, So anyway, you want to be that mountain that doesn't get phased, that doesn't move. So this is just something I wanted to show you guys, something to think about. And because this also goes along with my idea back in the day, and it's nice to see it kind of the similar lines here, by someone that, at least reading his book, this book has been something that I'm like been wowed by. So anyway, that's it for now. Thank you for viewing and take care, folks.